We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet Plus presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Gordon Beckham, Abisail Garcia, and our Sox against the Toronto Blue Jays. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you this makeup game from June 12th against these Toronto Blue Jays. But yesterday we won the finale of that three-game set against the Tigers, won it 6-3, Eric Johnson picking up his second win of the season. But, you know, so far we've seen a number of position players in the last month, but there's been one recently who's really been impressive.
Wherever they put him, Marcus Semien does a terrific job. We've seen him at shortstop. Tonight he's at third base. We've seen him at second. And his presence is something special for a youngster. Now, he's a shortstop by trade, but he's got great coverage. He's got terrific hands. He stays with display and makes a play at first. And we haven't seen him do anything wrong yet. Factor that in with the fact that he's played positions that he's not used to. And you have to credit him with his presence at bat. He takes the ball exactly where it's pitched. He can hit the ball hard. He can pull it, but he can also hit the ball to right field. So from what we've seen so far, this is a guy that could make a real big statement next year.
Well, you know, Chris Sale's had a lot of tough luck this year, but also the guy on the bump for us tonight has had a lot of tough luck. But he has impressed Robin and Coop with the way he's carried himself.
Jose Quintana has 17 no decisions, but he's thrown the ball exceptionally well. He's 8-6 this year, and his ERA is below 3.5. But when you see him pitch and you see him game in and game out, as we have, you realize just how many strides he's made from last year. This is a terrific young pitcher who's probably a number 2 starter in the major leagues. I view this year as a tremendously successful year for him, despite the fact that he's only won 8 games. He could have easily have won 15 or 16, and maybe tonight he can pick up number 9.
All right, well, back in mid-April, we touched up J.A. Happ for 5 runs, so we'll hope for some of the same tonight. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
It's at game time, and let's take a look at the matchup tonight. And it's a battle of two teams currently inhabiting last place in their respective divisions. The batting average, the Blue Jays a little bit better. The runs per game, the Blue Jays considerably better. Home runs, they're a more powerful team. And ERA-wise, well, our Sox have the advantage. But there's a big gap in the power department with 87 home runs and 241 RBIs missing, with Bautista, Encarnacion, and Lind not playing tonight. So let's take a look at how the Blue Jays are going to line up this evening. Rajay Davis, who has killed Quintana over the course of his career, leading it off, and it's Kawasaki, Lowry, Sierra DeRosa, Arancibia, Pilar, and Gones, along with Ghost rounding it out in center field. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Jose Quintana, Viciedo, Diaz, and Garcia in the outfield, with Simeon, Ramirez, Beckham, and Canerco in the infield. Josh Fegley with the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana on for his 32nd start. He's going after his 9th win, his ERA, 3.49. It's been a big year for him. Almost 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is very good. And he'll be facing a Blue Jay lineup that's kind of a mere shadow of its former self. They're playing a lot of youngsters in this one, as you would expect. And let's see if Jose can do what he's done all year, which is throw very well. The umpires for the game tonight. Behind the plate, Mark Wegner, Tim Timmons at first. Mike Winters, the crew chief, is at second, and Mike Muchlinski is at third. So they're throwing the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball on this chilly night, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson, who is just about as blue as his shirt. A little chilly, are you?
All right, Stoney, and welcome. Welcome right here to White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Makeup game of June 12th. So Jose Quintana's first pitch of the ball game to Rajay Davis is taken for a ball. Davis, 7 for 11 against Quintana. Comes in hitting at 266, 6 homers, 24 RBIs, but he has 45 stolen bases. So he's a game changer. There's no question about that, and he has been in his career against us. Blue Jays coming in hitting at 252 as a club with a 4.24 team ERA. Very, very disappointing year for them, as it has been for us. A lot of people thought this Toronto team would be a strong contender, and a lot of people, including myself, picked them to win that division.
Well, they added some very expensive players over the winter.
Injuries is what started our downfall this year. And certainly injuries is what started Toronto's downfall this season.
Career against our Sox, Rajay Davis has been very, very strong.
Pops it up softly, Paulie. It's one of the more quieter at bats against us for Davis. And this is the 7th meeting of the year between these two teams. In the first 6, they've split them. Blue Jays come in 33 and 44 on the road, while they have a home record of 38 and 40. Here's a fun guy to watch. Very, very animated. Muniori Kawasaki. Takes first pitch strike. Outfield swung well around to the left. And the count 0-2. If you missed that game yesterday, Eric Johnson taking up his second victory. With 6 2/3, gave up 2 runs, 9 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. As that pitch inside.
Eric Johnson looked pretty strong yesterday, and the key to his performance was getting ahead early and not walking anybody. He gave up 9 hits, but if you don't walk anybody, you can have the kind of performance that he had. And it didn't hurt that Cabrera was out of the lineup along with Torrey Hunter.
2-2.
That being said, the guys that were in that lineup were still pretty good hitters.
Yeah, some of our kids did well yesterday. Had him 0-2 and it is now 3-2.
You got to play Kawasaki very shallow in left field, and with that in mind, Viciedo is shallow. He's also over toward the line. Kawasaki loves to just flip the ball into left and left center. He's got very good speed, and he'll try to hit it on the ground if he gets a pitch down.
That went in on the fist.
There's Eric Johnson, who did such a fine job yesterday. In fact, he's done a fine job in each and every one of his starts.
Yeah, he's going to be a good one. He's going to be a good one. And there's what Steve's talking about. Just flips it out there in the left field. Like Luis Polonia.
Although Viciedo was playing him shallow, not shallow enough. He doesn't get much into this, but gets enough for the first hit of the night. He's 7 out of 8 in stolen bases, but Quintana's got a pretty good move to first.
He's got a good lead. And here's Brett Laurie. Laurie hitting at .255, 11 homers, 43 knocked in. Another fun guy to watch play. A lot of energy. Got a lot of range at third base. Big arm. Offensive numbers not anywhere near what they could be. This guy's a talented player.
And he was hurt this year. This is only game 101 for him, so his season was interrupted.
Line shot. Hang Wolfham. 2 down.
Laurie hits this ball on the screws, but he hits it right at Ramirez.
You know, he's made 12 errors down at third base, Laurie has, but that's not many for a guy with as much range as he's got and a strong arm as he has, because he's going to make plays that other guys can't even think about making. An attempt to make plays.
They knew he was a pretty good player when he came over from the Milwaukee Brewers, because he was one of their top prospects at the time.
Moises Sierra, 25-year-old outfielder.
He's got some big power. And the only problem with Sierra is that he swings at just about everything. If he makes contact, he can hit it a long way.
Want to know the count. After this game, we'll board our charter. Get on over to Cleveland for a brief 2-game set. And Wednesday night, we'll come back here after a night game. Get in at the wee hours of the morning, as that's fouled back right side. And tee it up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the final 4 of the season against Kansas City. Another good lead by Kawasaki. Chops that one foul. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore today 5-4. So Orioles picked a tough time to go into a tough streak.
And there's a very good chance they lost Manny Machado for the remainder of the season, which at this point for the Orioles, obviously you hate to see a young player hurt. He was carted off today. But they've pretty much played their way out of any wild card consideration. They're way back.
He gone. And that'll do it after half inning of play. It's the Blue Jays, nothing, and our guys coming to bat.
Alejandro Diaz leading off, and Alexei Ramirez, Jeff Keppinger, Paul Konerko, Avasio Garcia, who's been red hot, along with Vicieto, Beckham, Simeon, and Fegley rounding it out. The defense, and now they'll line up behind J.A. Happ, left to right. Pilar, Ghost, and Davis in the outfield, with Lowry, Goins, Kawasaki, and DeRosa in the infield. J.P. Arancibia gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is J.A. Happ, on for his 17th start. He was hit in the forehead with a line drive. It fractured his skull. This was back in May. It was Desmond Jennings of Tampa Bay that did it. And on the play, the irony is that he hurt his knee. And with the fractured skull, he came back with no problems from that. It was the knee that gave him problems. That's one of the reasons why he's only started this the 17th time. But he is 100% now.
And he is big, 6'6". 195 pounds, very similar to Arco Sale, who's 6'6", 185 pounds.
He's the guy in spring training that hit Curtis Granderson and broke a bone in his hand, put Curtis on a shelf for a while. Only see Curtis come back and do it a second time.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as the count is 0-2 to Diaza. That didn't take long.
No, he was guessing ball. Because he got one perfectly on the outside corner. Menard's pitch tracks will show you that it caught the outside of the outside corner, but I would assume that Mark Wegner is going to have a pretty nice sized plate tonight, as both teams have to head out into a different time zone.
And there's a strike to Alexei, who's hitting at 282, 5 homers, 47 knocked in.
Happ was originally with Philadelphia. His best year by far, 2009. He was 12-4 with an ERA under 3 in 23 starts for them. Then went to Houston, fell on some hard times there before being traded over to Toronto.
Just did get a piece of it, so he's thrown 6 pitches, 6 strikes. Did you ever take one off the head?
I did not. I never got hit above the belt.
7 pitches, 7 strikes, 2 out.
I always felt, Hawk, that if you had good hands, you could protect yourself above the belt.
Well, you're a good athlete, so that helps too.
Yeah, but you got to be lucky, because there was some shots that you just barely saw as they whizzed on by one side of your head or the other.
Well, you're a good ping pong player, you're a good pool player, so that means you got pretty good hands.
Yeah.
So that does not hurt.
No, that and a strong sense of self-preservation. Because there's some pitches on some guys that you said to yourself, you know what? If I throw a slider to this guy in the outside corner, being a dead pull hitter, he's going to line it right back to me. So I went with the inside fastball.
Well, that one slider that they threw, you couldn't bail quite quick enough.
No, that was
a bad spot.
Yeah, well, that was when I was a youngster and didn't understand there are certain things that you usually have to wear when you play. And I left one of those things off of the equipment list because it was raining and I didn't think we would play, and we did. And the sidearm fastball did me in. I bailed out the rest of my career.
You know, one of the best first basemen to ever play the game defensively, and he was a slugger too, was Jim Gentile. He never wore a cup.
Could never really understand that.
You got to have some real good hands.
Real good hands. And
Keppinger fouls it away.
Hope for no bad hops.
Yeah.
If you remember a guy by the name of Roy McMillan, who was a shortstop and a good one long ago, he was a manager against me when I was in A-ball, and everybody knew he was a major league player, so we asked him all kinds of questions. And I asked him if he wore a cup every day that he played.
That's out of play.
So he said, son, I've been around this game so long that I wear one when I watch a game on television. I said, well, thanks, Roy. Lesson learned.
He was a good shortstop.
Here he comes. He's coming at you now. Take him out.
And there's a base hit for Keppinger. Keppinger, yesterday, made a big 2-run triple for us.
That fastball was pretty much in the middle of the plate without a whole lot on it. Maybe Happ tried to cut it. Didn't get it inside far enough. Played by Gose and back in. But the first hit for the Sox.
So here's Konerko hitting at 248, 11 homers, 53 knocked in.
All right, let's see what we're going to do. No, he's not. He's hurt.
And there's another base hit.
See where even Aaron Sebia wants it, and he got it there. It's low and away. Ball apparently looking fastball all the way, going the opposite way. So a chance to break through here in the first inning.
So here is Garcia. Never see yield. Hitting at 289, 5 homers, 28 knocked in. Yesterday was 3 for 5, 2 RBIs and a run scored against his former mates. Then he takes first pitch strike right there.
Whatever you do, don't back away from that plate. Stay right where you are. He's going to throw it to you. All you got to do is hit. Back away. Stay right there. He'll give it to you. You just got to hit it.
Well, we talked about the money that the Blue Jays spent and the new players they brought in. Emilio Bonifacio was a good player, later traded. Mark Burley, Melky Cabrera, Mark DeRosa, R.A. Dickey, Miser Izturis, Josh Johnson, and Jose Reyes, all brought in because they thought this was going to be the year. Funny things happen on the way to the year. A lot of injuries happen.
That's the whole thing. Strikes out the side. We get a couple of hits. Strand 2 after 1, no score.
Miller Light.
Mark DeRosa will lead it off for him, 38-year-old veteran. He's faced Quintana 6 times. He is 0 for 6. Mark comes in hitting at 229, 7 homers, 32 knocked in. But he's been a good player in his career. He's had a fine career.
He's one of the guys that if you spend any time with him, you'll realize that if he wants to, he will make a major league manager one day.
Well, I don't know the guy. Never talked to him. But that's my perception of him.
Yeah.
Just by watching him and what he said, reading him and quips and everything.
He's always been a very smart player who understands the game of baseball. And he's accepted his role. The last few years, it hasn't been a great role for him, hitting 268 for a career with 100 home runs.
He's been a winning type player. And that's really not a large category.
Now, there's not too many players in that category, guys that can play with good teams. DeRosa came up with Atlanta, stayed with them for quite some time, making his way to Texas, then to the Cubs, Cleveland, St. Louis, San Francisco, Washington, and now Toronto.
And the leadoff walk. Boy, we saw enough of those on Saturday. Aaron Sebia, JP, hitting at 196, 20 homers, 53 knocked in. Last year he hit 233, 18 homers, and drove in 56. He's dangerous. He just missed that one. Wynn's got it now. Outfielder's going to have to watch that wind. The ball started out towards State Farm and started going over towards Jimmy John's. There's Kevin Pillar. There are his numbers. Take strike one. There'll be two big games for Cleveland tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow's game will be over WCIU. Wednesday's game will be on Comcast Sportsnet. Looks to second, goes to first. 2 down. And tomorrow on the bump for us, Hector Santiago against Ubaldo Jimenez. Then on Wednesday to be announced for us against the hard-throwing right-hander Danny Salazar. He's 1-3, but he has a 3.09 ERA.
If Andre Rienzo's blister is better, there's a very good chance that he'll get that start.
Ryan Gomez hitting at 233, a homer. He's a 277 minor league hitter. Big game for Cincinnati. They're at home against the Mets. Bottom of the fourth, Reds leading 2-1. Washington leading St. Louis 2-0. That's in the bottom of the first in St. Louis.
Cincinnati comes into play tonight dead even with Pittsburgh, 2 games in back of St. Louis in the National League Central. Nobody has to tell the Pirates and the Reds how important it would be to win the division and avoid that one and done game.
Yeah, nice. Played it nice. Boy, he has really been impressive.
And it's about the last month or so of both Avisail Garcia and Dayan Viciedo. Garcia hitting .336, Viciedo hitting .337. They've hit the same amount of home runs, driven in almost the identical amount, and scored almost the identical amount. Both of them red hot. They're both hitting back-to-back in the batting order. And both Viciedo and Garcia have done a great job over the last month, 5 weeks or so.
The Tank, 263, 13 homers, 54 knocked in.
Was doing a nice job early of painting the corners with that fastball.
1-2 the count. Well, just, we're going to get in, scheduled to get in around 2 o'clock this morning in Cleveland. I don't understand the timing. I think Toronto was the culprit, so to speak. That ball hit back through the middle into center field for the base hit. And why don't you explain why, Steve?
Well, the choices that they had, the first date that was given to them would have put them 30 consecutive days of play. The Players Association doesn't really care for that because they want an off day after 20 days of play. And so when they turned it down, it really only left one more common off day, and that common off day was today, and not particularly convenient for either team, but here it is.
Well,
they came from Boston.
They could have played, though, even though it would have been 30 consecutive days,
yeah,
if the association had agreed to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Toronto turned it down.
Yes, they did indeed. And so here they are in the middle of a Boston-Baltimore trip. Now, as it turns out for both teams, neither team is in contention, so it doesn't matter all that much. But
no, it doesn't. It just matters. It matters as far as the role of being a spoiler. It could be.
And on June 12th, nobody really knew if one team would catch fire or not.
Yeah. Beckham with a 1-1. Tries to shoot that one to the right side. He does, but it's too far on his foul.
They're playing him way around toward right center. Anthony Gose now moving a couple of steps to his right or over into left center field, but he's still playing him as an off-field hitter, not quite as much as he was the 2 previous pitches.
Count hangs at 1-2. Yeah, it would seem like they could schedule this one at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
But the tickets that were already sold, as we know, are in the bank. Once you play the game, you don't have to refund or exchange those tickets.
No score, bottom of the second if you're just tuning in. Ball hit hard.
Cut that fastball in on Gordon's hands. He hit it very hard, but well fouled.
And this foul back. Get out of here. It will. So the count hangs at 1-2 to Beckham. First and 30. And another foul ball.
Ninth pitch of the at bat. So Gordon battling Happ very well.
Lays off that breaking ball down and in.
Young man brought his glove. A very good idea. Especially sitting where he's sitting.
And that one is popped up playable. So 1 out. And talking about the schedule and scheduling, it's an interesting story behind it. You know, in this world of social media, this world of high tech, computers, the Major League Baseball schedule with 30 teams and now with 15 in each league, which makes it more difficult to schedule, is done by a couple, an elderly couple, in their home at Martha's Vineyard. It's amazing, isn't it?
But with the work that goes into it, I'm not sure if they can ever leave home.
They don't.
That's the one big problem.
They don't. They say they stay there. They very seldom leave the house. They say they've got these little things with, you know, White Sox and Toronto here and all the 30 teams up there. They're going to plastered all over the wall.
Well, hopefully they do live forever, because that's not an easy job.
Bob Holbrook is a guy who used to do it out of Boston. That ball hit hard. Stay fair. You can put it on the board. Yeah. Yes, his first major league home run. And the Sox lead it 2-0.
We highlighted Marcus Semien in the opening. And we told you at that point that he hits the ball where it's pitched. That he can pull the ball, but he can also take it to right field. And our Ford home run replay is a fastball. It's right down the middle. And he got one to his liking and showed J.A. Happ that he's got some thunder in that bat.
So here's Fegley. First major league homer. What a thrill.
Because I think it wound up in the bullpen. They'll be able to keep that one. Won't have to negotiate with anybody. And he'll have that as a lifetime keepsake. Who'd you hit your first home run off of?
Bill Pleiss.
They release him afterward?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bill Pleiss.
My first game I started. Shorty Pleiss.
Who do you pitch for?
Minnesota. Left-handed reliever. Hung me a slider. Jim Cott started the game. My first at bat, I got a base hit off him up the middle, and then later on, about the 7th inning, he hung me a slider, and I hit the 2-run homer. I think it was a 2-run homer.
Did you get the ball back?
No, we didn't ask for him back in those days. That was not considered to be the thing to do.
Well, I'm going to come here maybe after the season's over and try to hit my first, because I haven't hit one yet. Not like Marcus. Marcus has got one.
Gets him. And now with 2 out, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks this week. Some Angiar, Director McCool went with Tank. Steve went with Garcia, and I went with him yesterday. I'm going to stay with him. Laney Dempster, Joe Rohde, Ron Vesley, Dave Albrecht, Ryan Young, Jen Briner. We went with Marcus Semien, who just hit that 2-run homer. And there's a base hit.
Ghost kicked it over to Pilar. And Pilar missed it for the moment. But no error charged. Did a good enough job making sure it didn't get by him. And then Pilar had some problems on the carom. But Diaza winds up at first.
Here's Alexa. He struck out his first trip. Well, we got Happ earlier, back in May, for 5 runs.
But for whatever reason tonight, he's cutting his fastball. That's at 86, and he's throwing his regular fastball, which is 91, 92. So without establishing that he can get a curveball over the plate or a straight change over the plate, if he makes a mistake with location, it's going to get hit hard.
Yeah, when you get a guy, what he does in that situation, Steve, is the pitcher, when he's having that in that scenario you just mentioned, takes all the guesswork out for the hitter.
Yeah, he can stand up there. He disregards anything slow. Just looks for hard stuff.
I mean, just takes all the guesswork out. In essence, he's telling you what's coming. And believe you me, it sounds simple, but it's not, because a lot of times it takes you 4 or 5 years to learn that. And that's outside. So he's got the catbird seat at 3-1. It's full. And on this day in 1988, Jose Canseco became the first player to steal 40 bases and 40 home runs in the same season. And since that time, 3 players have done it. There he goes. Half wanted it, didn't get it. First walk issued by AJ or JA. And here's Keppinger, who singled. And here comes Pete Walker.
Taking the long, slow walk out. Nobody loosening in the pen.
All right, college students, now that you're back in school, head out to the ballpark on Friday, September 27th to relax with your friends and see the last Friday fireworks show of the season, sponsored by Miller Lite. Enjoy bleacher tickets for as low as $10. Come early and stick around after the game for a 20% discount at the Chicago Sports Depot and Bacardi at the park with a valid college ID. So when you go to Bacardi at the park, ask for Vasilios, Prasis, Sil. Just ask for Sil and he'll take care of you over there. Knock him in, Jeff. Put some more points on the board. Takes a strike. Breaking ball in the dirt.
That's probably one of the things that Pete Walker said to Happ was you got to mix in a breaking ball every now and then.
Yeah,
because you got 9 guys sitting on your hard stuff.
Just give him a show me pitch. Give me a show me a breaking ball or something. And the count 2-1.
And the bullpen is up and going. So John Gibbons, along with Pete Walker, didn't particularly care for what they've seen from Happ to this point.
And the count 3-1 with Konerko on deck.
Then up and going, it's Neil Wagner.
And that'll load him up. Back-to-back walks.
He's labored in this one. 35 and not out of the inning just yet.
Paulie with that nice piece of woodwork last inning. One of those pitches, if pitcher's got it on the side, throwing it on the side, pitching coach said, now that on the first pitch is a good place. He's not going to swing at that one. Meanwhile, he laced it into right field. And here he takes Just the antithesis of the first pitch. Low and away, up and in.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview. Pretty good speed at second and third. The arms in the outfield are actually pretty good. They just have not been terribly accurate.
Count evens at 1. Good check. Close pitch. But when you walk two guys back to back, goes for a ball, 2-1. Paulie now 2 for 4 lifetime off Happ. Happ lives here in Chicago. Watch out. Watch out.
He reached back, got a little something extra on that fastball. That's fastest pitch he's thrown tonight at 94. And there is one of the most popular White Sox players ever, Mark Buehrle. Buehrle this year 12-9. 32 starts, 200 innings, 200 1/3 innings.
Hits that one off the fist into center field, and it's going to hang up for Anthony Gose. Back to 2-run homer by Marcus Semien. We'll go to the third, leading 2-0.
Game live on Comcast Sportsnet. It's Chris Bowden, Jim Miller, and Dan Jiggets as they take you right to the field to hear from players and coaches and deliver the best analysis in town. Bears Postgame Live presented by Nissan every game day right after the Bears game, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
We got ourselves a 2-0 lead here. Two 5-0. for our guys. 0-1-0 for their guys. Ghost can't get it. And the count 0-2.
Ghost looked a little disappointed in himself on the first pitch because he took a fastball right down the middle, right where he could seemingly handle it. And now he's in the 0-2 hole.
A little chin music. What was the most batters you hit in 1 year?
I didn't hit that many. I didn't think I could afford to put that many people on base. I would say, and I'm just guessing, 6 or 7 maybe, if that. I threw inside a lot.
He gone. 1 out.
But I had to throw inside because I threw away, breaking balls away to so many hitters that if I threw a fastball outside, I never changed their eye level. I was doing them a favor. They could look in just one spot, and that's why I would throw the fastball in.
Well, in your time zone, you could pitch in and not hit guys. Today, you pitch it in a lot. You're not going to hit them. They're going to hit themselves.
Well, the most guys, Dave Ross just told me, the most guys that I ever hit was in 1973, right here with the White Sox, my first year with them, and I hit 7.
Get foul. It will. It will. Yeah. Ajay fouled out to Canerco his first trip.
And in 11 years in the major leagues, I hit 40 men. That's not a high total. There were some guys.
No, not at all.
Some guys you played against, some of the nastier guys, they'd hit 20 a year.
That's into left field. And back in those days, guys got out of the way a lot more than they do today. So when you hit somebody back in those days, you were probably trying to hit them. Jim Lonborg in '67 hit 19 guys. He had Bill Freehan 3 times in one game.
That's a brave guy. Or he felt he could outrun him.
You know, it was one of those things. Bill Freehan was a catcher with the Tigers, and the Tigers were running against us. I was playing with Boston. We had White Sox, Red Sox, Tigers, and Twins, all with that one game spread between the 4 of us for a long time. And the rivalry was such that Freehan could have absolutely gone out there and just crushed Lonnie. Even though Lonnie was 6'5", Freehan was,
he was a monster.
Yeah, and he just, every time he hit him, you just look at him and go to first place. He hit 3 times in one game. Kawasaki. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. 3-1 to count. Texas leading Houston 3-0, bottom of the 3rd in Arlington. There's a strike. Rangers better run the table.
Well, the Indians have a 1.5 lead, only 1 in the loss column over the Rangers. The Rangers have Houston, so you figure they're going to run through them just as Cleveland did in a 4-game series. And then the Rangers end with the Angels. Cleveland ends with Minnesota. There's the wild card. The Rays, who won today, have a lead, and the Indians have that 1.5 lead over the Rangers.
He gone. 1, 2, 3 inning. That's 6 in a row retired by Quintana. Open after every home game at US Cellular Field. At the Gate 5 Plaza, Bacardi at the park. So get your friends. Give them a visit. Ask for Sill. Two 2-0 Sox. Here at the bottom of the third. It'll be Garcia, Viciato, Beckham. Garcia struck out his first trip. Got him on a high fastball. That was another fastball up a little bit. Two and one. 3-1. That's lifted into center field. That's a can of corn. One out, and that'll bring up Tank. Tank started off that 2-run second with a base hit back through the middle. That one on top of the zone. That's high into right field. Another can of corn. Two down.
Whole lot of pitches in that second inning, and a lot of pitches total, not through 3, 65 of them.
And there's a shot. Fair ball. Thank you very much. Gordon on his way to now fan interference, so double. That's his 22nd two-bagger.
This one's slicing, but Tim Timmons right there. And it's a fair ball.
So here's Marcus.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it came last inning.
That ball. And put it on the ball.
A two-run shot.
Yeah, not going to throw him out. He has good speed, so he's 2 for 2.
A good effort by Ryan Goins, but not with the speed of Semien. Once this ball gets in the hole, once it's by Lowry, there's no chance to get him. And because Lowry was pulled wide of the bag, there's no play at third.
Josh struck out his first trip. Off the end of the bat on a changeup. 3 cans of corn. 1 to center, 1 to right, and 1 to left. And we'll go to the 4th.
Fourth inning is brought to you by the new Cool Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
We have a 2-0 lead going to the top of the 4th inning in this makeup game, if you're just tuning in. June 12th. First pitch to Brett Lowry. Taken for a strike.
He was traded from the Milwaukee Brewers, even up for Sean Markham, who then went on to have lots of physical problems with the Brewers.
That's softly in the center field. So he's 0 for 2. His first time up, he lined very hard to Ramirez at short. And here is Sierra. Struck out. I'm just looking at Oakland A's, game and a half back of the Red Sox for the best record in the American League. Last 27 games Oakland has played, they are 21-6.
Seems like every year you can pretty much say the same thing. They seem to close very well each and every season.
They're a fun team to watch. There's no question about that. Softly hit. 2 down. Yeah, they'll get after you. They're going to give you 27 outs on defense, and they're going to give you 27 outs on offense.
And there's such a premium on having that best record in the league, because when you go head to head, for instance, Boston is 53-28, Oakland 52-29. These are home records. So So Oakland would just as soon catch you in the Coliseum, and Boston certainly would want you at Fenway if they had the choice. And as we enter play, Boston has a 2-game lead for the best record in the American League.
DeRosa, he walked to lead off the second inning. Can't get the breaking ball. The only walk that Quintana has allowed. Texas now leading 7-0 over Houston. And Red Sox and A's played 6 games this year, and they split them. So this is going to be 9 in a row retired by our Quintana, and he leads it 2-0.
Becker will take you inside the win over the Steelers and preview next week's matchup. And you never know who's going to stop by when Lance is joined by some special guests and teammates. Only on the Lance Briggs Show, presented by GWC Law, tomorrow night at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Top of the order for us here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-7-0 for our guys. 0-1-0 for their guys. Alejandro 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single. One and one the count.
John Gibbons, the skipper. This is his second go-around with Toronto. In 6 years, just a bit below 500.
Well, certain things you cannot do. You can't control the injuries. Toronto and our White Sox both coming out of spring training with very high expectations. All of a sudden we start piling up the injuries. They start piling up the injuries. As there's ball 4. And then after that, it got worse. We just started playing poorly. And here is Alexei, a strikeout and a walk.
Toronto really helped out the Miami Marlins because they took a whole lot of their payroll and shifted it from Miami to Toronto. They got some good players, but when Reyes went down this year, that was the beginning. That really hurt him because Jose Reyes is the kind of player like Ricky Henderson was. From the top of that lineup, he can set off the rest of the lineup. He makes the whole lineup better with his presence. And he wasn't around to help him.
Yeah, that's a different looking ball club if he's healthy. Do you know the count?
The pen up and going once again, and for the second time, Neil Wagner, who should just about be ready, is throwing.
What sort of sealed the deal for me was when they picked up R.A. Dickey.
You don't get many Cy Young Award winners traded the following season.
No.
But
especially a knuckleballer who's going to. I mean, he might have a bad year. He's 13-13 with a ball club that's under 500, but knuckleballers usually have a nice shelf life.
But they're also going to pitch well over 200 innings,
which has a lot of merit.
There's a look at R.A. Dickey.
I thought he would just be the man to solidify that staff. And then big right-hander. He got hurt.
Josh Johnson you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what they thought was going to be a great addition. He wound up 2-8 with an ERA of 6.20.
There you go. Nice play by Ryan Goins. Beautiful play.
If Piazza's not going, it's a double play. Good effort by Goins. He only has one play, and from his right knee, he gets it across in time.
So here's Keppinger. He has singled and he has walked.
They've played Goins a whole lot at second base, but he is a natural and lifetime shortstop, which is where they have him tonight. That being said, if you're on a team with Jose Reyes and they're paying Jose the kind of money they're paying him for the length of time they're paying it, if you're a lifetime shortstop, you got to find another position.
That breaking ball misses. If you're just checking in, Marcus Semien, a 2-run homer, his first major league homer in the second inning. Of course, with that home run, the Alex Nelius family will make a generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. Last year we said that 211 times.
Not so this year.
We said it 136 times.
Pretty happy young man at 2 for 2 with his first homer.
And that's popped up. All right, 2 down. And you can come out to the final fireworks game of the season on Saturday, September 28th, presented by Great Clips, and take advantage of our Save of the Week offer. Your ticket package will include $10 off your lower level ticket, on-field pregame parade pass, and admittance to an exclusive blowout sidewalk sale at Gate 1. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/SoxSave. Pauly is 1 for 2. Singled in the first, popped up to center in the second to end the second. That was with the bases loaded. Blue Jays have had 22 pitchers.
Normally, that number is not going to get you the greatest of years. You're going to have to do a lot of mixing and matching with the injuries.
And that's just foul. Real close right there. Real close.
Laurie on the line, and that ball just to the left of the bag.
Yep. Off the end of the bat. So we get to the leadoff walk, can't do anything with it, but we lead it 2-0. Are using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game that might just be yours. Top of the 5th. JP Arancibia.
Arancibia's got big power, but that batting average in the ones. He's at 195. Most disappointing for him.
Count evens at 1. He just missed one his first trip back in the 2nd inning. That's out of play right side.
I thought they had a big find last year because he played in 102 games, only had 347 at bats, hit 18 home runs, drove in 56. Power numbers very similar this year. 53 and 20 in the home runs.
And that's foul. And that ball, he's dangerous. It's a 2-1 ball game.
That's his 21st, and he's driven in 54. And with the absence in this lineup of Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and Adam Lind, Arancibia, the most dangerous guy they've got in their Ford home run replay. It's a low fastball, and he took it out. Not much doubt about this when it left the bat.
Here's Pilar. He grounded out to Simeon. '21st home run also that Quintana has thrown this year. Blue Jays with 183 home runs.
Encarnacion, who was lost for the year to wrist surgery, had 36 home runs, 104 driven in 142 games. So for him, it was a huge year.
Well, they brought the attendance of 31,173 they averaged. So the people thought they were going to do something.
Yeah.
Here you go. 4 strikeouts now for Quintana.
Good curveball. And got a young hitter to expand that zone. Nice stop by Josh Fegley, because that ball could have easily gotten by him, putting Pilar at first.
Ryan Goins takes first pitch strike.
Right back up the middle, base hit. So Goins with the 3rd Blue Jay hit of the night. And he's aboard with 1 out. Fegley wants it away, and Quintana misses, throws it right down the middle. Goins takes it right back up the middle. Brings up Anthony Gose, a strikeout victim, leading off the 3rd inning. And Goins with a short lead at first base. There was a fastball right by him. Goins has yet to attempt a steal. Dwayne Murphy, the first base coach. Outfield shading goes a little toward left center field. With Viciedo shallow and over toward the line and left. That evens the count at 1-1 as Fegley did a nice job of stopping that ball down. Manageable pitch count for Jose at this point. Double play ground ball over to second for one, back to first, a double play and out of the inning. And so we'll head to the bottom of the fifth inning, but the lead's been cut in half. It's a 2-1 game.
Here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And for our guys, it'll be Garcia, Viciedo, and Beckham. Now Viciedo has struck out and gone out softly to center. Takes it high and wide.
Our boys have had Happ on the ropes. He has yet to have a 1-2-3 inning. Last inning, his one walk produced one base runner. That's the first time he didn't have at least two base runners in every inning.
We stranded 8 through the first 4.
He could have easily been out of there tonight. In fact, they've had the bullpen up twice. There you look at the numbers. Somehow he's been able to wiggle off the hook.
Well, we just hadn't had that killer instinct with our offense. You got to have a killer instinct. And sometimes personnel you have, personalities they are, sometimes they just don't have a killer instinct.
Those are the teams usually finish up the track.
That is high and deep. Stretch! Stretch! He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes! High towering opposite field. And it's 3-1.
Sixth home run of the year for Garcia. He got it up into the wind, and it just kept on blowing out of here. Toward home run replay. It's another fastball. And it's in the second row. It's a 2-run lead restored.
Tank 1 for 2 with a run scored. I mentioned this before. He reminds me a lot of Jose Canseco when he came into this league. Canseco did something I have never seen another right-handed hitter do at Old Comiskey Park.
And that was?
In a batting practice round, hit one on the roof, way on the roof out there in left center field. In the very next pitch, he hit one on the roof in right field.
No, that I've never seen. I saw a lot of practice, a lot of games there, but never saw that.
2 pitches.
Jeez. And the bullpen up and going. Jeremy Jeffress. First time he's been up tonight.
I've seen a lot of strong hitters. And that's foul back underneath Steve. I've never seen it. That's the only time I ever saw it. I've seen a lot of guys, right-handed hitters, go in the upper deck at Old Comiskey Park. That's the only right-hander I ever saw hit the roof. Gobble, bobble, bobble.
And Aaron Sebia, I believe, is going to get an error.
Yeah,
he had 2 shots. He had 2 shots at it. That's going to be his 11th error of the year. And that's a lot of errors for a catcher. He's got all kinds of time. 1 stab, 2 stabs.
So here's Beckham. He's 1 for 2, a double. And that's going foul, but playable. So 1 out. Well, there's no question that Bo Jackson, he could have gone on that roof. He has the biggest power I've ever seen a right-handed hitter at the opposite field. Semien is 2 for 2, that 2-run homer and an infield single.
Nice idea. He saw Lowry back at third. Shortened up as if to bunt. Now that's probably going to bring him at least even with the bag at third base. Now he's going to dare him to lay one down again.
Love watching these kids play. It's fun.
You get to this point in September where each win is not of critical importance, and all there is looking toward the future. Marcus Semien is going to be part of that future.
Six southpaw J.A. Happ. That's outside. Talking about rough shots. We had a home run hitting contest over there, and the wind was blowing out. Larry Parrish put on an exhibition.
Remember him? Yes.
He hit about 6 or 7. That ball hit hard, but not as hard as it sounded. So that's out number 2. So he hit about 6 or 7 over the roof. He hit 1 over the roof to the right of the flagpole. Remember where the flagpole was?
Yes.
Deep out there, deep left center. Then he hit 1 way back in the center field bleachers.
Now
the game starts. Floyd Bannister was pitching. 2 guys on. Larry comes to plate. He hits 1 over the roof.
Oh, jeez.
Larry is one of the strongest guys to ever play this game. Did you ever play golf with him?
Didn't.
You should have seen him at a golf ball. He was close to Jim Rice. Not as far, but he was close to hitting it as far as Jim Rice. There's a strike. They were telling me that Elston Howard may have hit one of the longest home runs ever hit there. Hit it over, all the way over the roof, over that flagpole off Ray Herbert. Ellie could hit it. That's foul. Moose was telling me that. Moose said that might be the longest home run ever hit at Old Comiskey Park.
Moose had some big power to right center field.
He had to right center field for a little guy. Yeah. He had the biggest power to right center field for a little guy I ever saw. Jimmy Toy Cannon.
Jimmy Wynn.
Jimmy had it to left center. The biggest power I've ever seen for a guy that small. But Moose had it to right center. Tommy hawked it. God rest his soul. Moose a good man. That's high in the count, 1-2.
Yap is asking Mike Winters if the count is 1-2.
And it'll stay at 1-2. I got to admit, there are more people here than I thought were going to be here.
And that young man's got a souvenir for his efforts showing up tonight.
And he gets him, but the opposite field home run by Abigail Garcia, and we lead it 3-1. He looks up, Mets with Sox in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
The key to this inning is going to be Davis at the top because he's held Davis down, which holds down the scoring. And Davis, career-wise, has been really a thorn in Quintana's side.
He's had his number coming into tonight, 7 for 11. Saw pop up. One pitch, one out.
Time now for the whiff, brought to you by Head and Shoulders, and it's swinging strikeouts of Jose Quintana tonight. And first it's Sierra, and then it's Anthony Gose. And no contact from Kevin Pillar.
It's Kawasaki. He had one of the little softest singles you ever want to see in the left field. First inning, and then struck out on a 3-2 pitch in the third. Only one to count. Three 8-0 for our guys. 1-3-1 for their guys. If you're just checking in. In that Texas Houston game, Rios 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs, double, and a homer. Hits that one too hard. You don't want to hit it that hard. So 2 down. Sox fans, celebrate your Latino culture with Hispanic Heritage Night and fireworks presented by Miller Lite on Friday, September 27th at 7:10. Specially priced tickets, including lower level seats, for only $10. That is Friday, September 27th, 7:10. So to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/NHH.
With the bullpen up and going, you would think that would be it for Happ, as he's well over 100 pitches through 5 innings.
Lowry is lined very hard to Ramirez at short and flat out softly to center.
On the other side of the equation, Jose Quintana has only had 79 pitches with 2 outs here in the 6th. So he's been very economical.
It's hit hard but foul. Mets and Cincinnati are tied at 2, bottom of the 8th. In Cincinnati.
That's a huge game, as is St. Louis. Bottom of the 5th, leading Washington 4-2. They were losing that game 2-0.
And that changeup has popped up right side. And that a quick 1-2-3-6 for Quintana.
organization. Just the 8th game. He's 1-0, ERA 193.
So they just turned 26 2 days ago. He's out of South Boston, Virginia. 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. And it's a 3-1 ball game. 2-run homer by Marcus Semien and a solo shot by Avisaíl Garcia. And we're back at the top of the order with De Aza, Ramirez, and Keppinger. Big gap out there in right center. Alejandro has struck out, singled, and walked. And that's right off the end of the bat, softly hit. Muniori. And when you make net purchases of $20 or more and show us your receipts, well, we'll deposit $20 back into your U.S. bank checking or savings account. It's their special thank you for becoming a new credit card customer. Alexei is 0 for 2 with a walk. Strikeout, a walk, and a ground out to short. There's the strike. Jeffers, a big bonus boy. Time by the Brewers. 16th overall selection in 2006. Lowry. 2 down. And that'll bring up Keppinger, who's 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a fly out to center.
Last year, Jeffress appeared with Kansas City in 13 games with an ERA just under 7, so it was not the best of years for him.
Pitch at 97. That pitch at 98. So he's got a big arm.
An arm like a lot of those pitchers in the Kansas City pen.
Good call, yeah. Well, some scouts, they have their specialties. Some guys are good at, for whatever reason, at scouting starters. Some guys are really good at scouting relievers. Some guys are good at scouting middle infielders, and some guys are good at scouting outfielders. That one at 96.
Yeah, if he keeps it there at 96, nobody's going to hit it. That ball on the outside corner. And he kept it down low enough with good late movement. I would just assume by his numbers he doesn't keep it there all the time.
Right. And that's ball 4. Also Jeffers, terrific basketball player. So here's Paul. He is 1 for 3. Yeah, when you can run up there at 98, it's easy to see why other teams are going to take a chance with you.
You might as well. You never know when the light's going to turn on, and maybe you'll catch him on the year when he's throwing everything around the plate. Look at Fernando Rodney.
Soft ground ball over to second. And we'll go to the 7th, leading by 2.
Central inside the huddle, featuring Bears running back Michael Bush. Watch as Bush joins the studio crew to break down the Bears win over the Steelers from a player's perspective. Only on Sportsnet Central, inside the huddle, tonight at 10:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Top of the 7th inning, Sierra, DeRosa, and Arancibia. And Alex Rios has just hit for the cycle down in Texas. Also driven in 4 runs.
Yeah, congratulations to him, because that's a really difficult thing to do.
Alex and AJ the best.
They're going to need a little help now to get there.
Well, as you mentioned, they got the Angels coming in after this 3-game set with Houston.
They should handle, I would assume at home they're going to handle Houston. If not easily, they'll handle them, just like the Indians did. They battled them a couple of times, but then at the end, the Indians put them away in the final 2 games of the series. And then the Angels, with nothing left to go after but spoiling the Rangers' season. And they could very easily do that.
Well, if the Rangers get those bats warm like they've scored 11 tonight, leading Houston 11-0. It doesn't make any difference, because it's a state of mind. If you get that momentum, you get the bats warmed up, because they can hit.
They can hit, and Cleveland has us for 2. And then they finish it off with Minnesota for 4.
Yeah, they've got the best schedule. Boy, they've absolutely kicked our butts this year. beating us. Something that's never happened again before. We're setting all kinds of records.
We are setting
12
records
in a row.
in a historic year. And Cleveland need look no further than across the lake at Detroit, because Detroit beat them 15 out of 19. If they just play Detroit heads up, they're in first place. But that's easier said than done.
Yeah, Cleveland's beating us 12 in a row. Got him. He knew it. He gone. 1 out. 5 strikeouts now.
Put that fastball on the outside part of the outside corner. You're around the plate a lot, as Quintana has. You're going to get the benefit of just about all of those close calls.
DeRosa has walked and gone out to center. So he takes first pitch strike. Another one right there on the corner.
That's really been the big difference, is Don Cooper impressing upon Jose Quintana that he's got to use the outside part of the plate. He was glove side strong in that his best pitches were the cutter and the fastball inside to right-handers and away to lefties. That was his strong side. Well, there was a lot of right-hand hitting teams that would open up early, and they hurt him last year. And Don Cooper said, if you're going to win consistently, you've got to use both sides of the plate and throw more curveballs. And a very willing pupil, a very talented pupil, who's bigger and stronger this year than he was last, has been able to paint the corners on both sides of the plate. And that man has had a big hand in making Jose a whole lot better.
Well, Jose is one of Kenny Williams' best ever pickups.
That was a great pickup.
2 down. Kenny has some good ones. Jose right up there at the top.
And just starting to pay the kind of dividends that he's going to pay for hopefully quite some time. He's got a simple motion. He's a strong young man. And you look at his delivery and you say to yourself, well, if anybody should remain injury free, it should be him. Now, you can never predict that. But,
knock on wood.
Right. But there's nothing, there's a lot of smoothness to his delivery. He's got a good follow through. He does most everything right that you'd want to do if you were teaching a young pitcher how to deliver the baseball.
Well, when you come in and you're 8-6 with a 3.49 ERA and you got 17 no decisions, that'll tell you what kind of year he's had. Tough luck.
Especially with many of those no decisions. Not like the team bailed him out of those. It's more like the team didn't get him a whole lot of offensive support or couldn't hold one of the leaves he left with.
Now time is called. Aaron Sebia, his 21st homer leading off the 5th inning. High towering. Goes after the off speed to change. 1-2. Once again, a reminder tomorrow night, make your plans to be with us. First of a 2-game set with the Tribe.
Yes, indeed. See you later.
7th inning stretch. We lead it 3-1. It'll be Garcia, Viciedo, Beckham. O'Seal, 1 for 3. That homer, his 6th, leading off the 5th inning. A high, towering home run into right center field.
Is coming leading off the 5th, and he gets it up in the wind tunnel, and it just keeps on going. That one made it where it stands right now at 3-1.
That fastball at 98, all the way back. Well, we talked about it earlier when we first got him. Usually when you see a strong right-handed hitter, a young one, come up into the big leagues, and his power is to right and right center, that is a great sign, because don't ask me why. There's no definitive reasoning for it. It just seems like these are the kind of guys that have a very long and a very prosperous career, because it's easier to learn how to pull the ball than it is to go to the opposite field. And when you got power like he has and like Viciedo has to the opposite field, naturally coming up, you got a chance to have a terrific career.
He's got a different stroke than Tank, only in that Tank hits vicious line drives. Now his vicious line drives sometimes go out of the ballpark. Garcia hits a lot of fly balls with carry on.
Yeah, they're two different styles.
And I would assume that as soon as he starts to realize what pitchers are going to try to do with him, maybe it'll take a couple of years. That's when he's going to still maintain that power to right center, but he's going to know which pitches to pull.
No doubt about it.
Right now he's pulling hanging breaking balls. That's basically what he's pulling, and taking the fastball the other way.
Oh, he hit that one high straight change.
Yeah, off speed pitch.
Yep. Here's Tank. He's 1 for 3. Yeah, but you get these. We're lucky. We've got two. As I said yesterday, I can't wait to see Garcia and Tank after they've had another 1,000 at bats, because they're both very young.
Well, I talked with Dave Dombrowski in Detroit about the three-way deal. He said every team got exactly what they needed. He said, I got a shortstop defensively that makes me a better ball club. Boston got a pitcher they can take into the playoffs, so he's not afraid of anything in Jake Peavy. And you guys got yourself a young power hitting outfielder who can do just about everything. And he said, believe me, if the situation didn't play out the way it did, he goes, I didn't want to trade Garcia, but that's what happened.
Well, he summed it up nice. There's a strike. That one at 98, because that's one of the, for a three-way deal, that's one of the best trades I've ever seen.
No question. Every team filled the exact need they had at a given time.
All three of them were happy.
We were building for the future. Boston, their future was today, and the same thing with Detroit. But Detroit also has a shortstop in Iglesias that not only will help them today, but he's young enough and good enough where he can be there for 10 years.
Yeah, he's 23 years old. Garcia just turned 22. Tank's 24. So here's Beckham. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Yeah, there was a lot of young talent traded in that three-way deal with Garcia and Iglesias.
And you don't see young talent like that traded too often, unless a team is going for it. For instance, we saw Kansas City trade great young outfielder in Will Myers, their #1 prospect. He was traded to Tampa Bay because they felt this year and next year was their window with Shields and Wade Davis. That's who they got from Tampa Bay. Otherwise, they never trade Will Myers. But they needed pitching desperately. And James Shields has turned out to be as billed for them because he has pitched and won some very big games for Kansas City. Now they're going to come up short this year, but their starting rotation looks a whole lot better, and they discovered something in making that deal, and that was that Luke Hochevar can be devastating out of the bullpen, something they didn't know before they made that deal.
That's upstairs at 98, so he's at consistently 96, 97, 98.
Last 12 starts for big game James, 8-2 with a 3.15 ERA. So they've run him to the mound as often as they possibly could, and he's responded with some big wins.
Kansas City still did not play as well as I thought they were going to play this year.
But we thought the corner boys would step forward.
That's into left field. Get over his head right in front of State Farm. Makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 8th, leading by 2. Thank you very much, buddy. And that's the story as you look at our Comcast Sportsnet Plus tail of the tape. That ball hit hard into right center field. Can't get it. But Kevin Pilar leads it off with a double, and that was the 98th pitch thrown.
And the bullpen up and going. Double-barreled action for our Sox.
Just the 4th hit.
It's Lindstrom and Veal loosening in the pen.
Well, our club this year we've had a good job out of the bullpen, but we've had a lot of lapses out there as well. And it's the perfect. We're the poster child for being the example of it doesn't make any difference how good your starters are.
No, the starters were very good most of this year.
No question about it. And our pitching overall has been very good this year. It's just been the other play. But look how many times Quintana, look how many times Sale. Chris pitched his behind off the other day in Detroit, got a 6-run lead.
Well,
we lose the ball game.
That was historic. Never happened before.
Yeah, but it was an example of how this season has gone, because your bullpen, you're not going to have. We've talked about it. The numbers are there, and this is one place where the numbers don't lie. We've had 5 complete games this year, 4 of them by Chris Sale. Blue Jays this year have had 4 complete games, 3 of them by R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer. Your bullpen it's a battle of bullpens. I don't care how good your starters are. I don't care how good your offense is. I don't care how good your defense is. If you got a weak bullpen, you're going to lose.
Most of the teams will have anywhere from 2 to 5 complete games as an entire staff. It's just the way it is. That's how things have changed.
And you play 162.
Yeah.
So just give them 10, which they're not going to have. Bullpen's got to cover 152 of them. As that is slicing and foul into the seats for a souvenir.
Now, one of the big things that happened when Jesse Crain went down, it did create quite a void, but it also gave an opportunity to Matt Lindstrom to show what he can do. And he's really responded, because his ERA for a good portion of this year was well over 4. That ERA now, taking the role that Jesse Crain had, is down to 2.88, and he's appeared in 73 games. So he's not only been durable, but seemingly, as the appearances have piled up, he's actually thrown the ball better and better.
Well, the slider's been a big pitch, because when he first was out there, he hung a lot of sliders. When he stays on top of it, he's really tough.
Yep.
But Jesse Crain was just reinstated by the Rays, and there's a base hit into left center field. Good job by Tanks to cut it off and get it back in, but the run's going to score, and it's a 3-2 ball game. So Goins with his second hit.
Just his 4th run batted in of the year. So in talking with a few of the people around the Blue Jays organization, they said that Pilar, Goins, and Gose all are tools type players. Haven't really learned how to put it together and play quite yet, but they all have the tools if they can take the next step or so forward.
Well, when you got Rasmus and Encarnacion and Lynn, those guys are going to have a tough time breaking in.
And Bautista.
And Reyes.
Yeah,
They're going to have a tough time breaking in.
Well, what you got to hope for is picking up a utility spot on an everyday basis.
Well, what they're also hoping for is that some other organization likes Goins. They like Pilar. They like Gose. Three-2. Our guys on top. Top of the 8th inning. Got a shot. Yeah. Nice peg.
It's called out by Josh Fegley, who's got the play in front of him, and he realized he had some time, so that's going to be the last pitch that Jose is going to throw, and he makes a very good play.
Well, Robin's not going to let him lose this ball game. Not the way he's pitched this year. Another outstanding performance, Stoney.
He did just a terrific job. He gave up the 5 hits, 2 runs to this point. His responsibility is a man at first, and he will depart. Matt Lindstrom will come in, and we'll step out and be back after these messages.
patterns of injury prevention in players and fans' daily activities. So visit athletico.com/blog for injury prevention tips. Athletico Physical Therapy, the official physical therapy provider of White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Our Honda call to the pen is Matt Lindstrom. Matt at 2-4, the ERA 2.88, on for the 74th time. He inherits a tying run at first base. And he's going to face Rajay Davis.
Rajay 0 for 3 tonight. He's faced Matt 4 times, has 1 hit. And now he's faced him 5 times, has 2 hits.
And I would think that Colby Rasmus would be the guy. They call back Kawasaki. The reason is Rasmus is 2 for 3 with a home run against Lindstrom. But that being said, Donnie Veal is throwing in the pen. So let's see what John Gibbons wants. He called back Kawasaki. Let's see who grabs a bat. Now it's Adam Lind, who is one of their power guys. He's hitting .283, 23 home runs, 64 driven in, 7 for 17 with a couple of home runs and 5 driven in as a pinch hitter. But he won't be facing Matt Lindstrom. He'll be facing Donnie Veal.
And receive the White Sox Wire email newsletter along with exclusive ticket offers, video sneak peeks, breaking news alerts, and more. So visit whitesox.com/blacklist.
Our Honda call to the pen is Donald Veal II. He's 2-3, the ERA 4.82, on for the 48th time. He inherits the game on the bases, both the tying and the go-ahead run. On base for Adam Lind, who's pinch hitting for Minoru Kawasaki.
Adam Lind. Well, he has been tough against us.
Big power to left center field.
Well, when he's thinking right, he's just a real good hitter. Been around a long time, still just 30 years old. 2009, 305, 35 homers, drove in 114. So here we go. We got a 1-run lead, 1 out, 2 on. And he takes first pitch strike.
As a pinch hitter, he's been about as good as there's been in the league. 412.
Off the end of the bat, Marcus makes a nice pickup, nice peg, nice play. 2 down, so he gets a dangerous man.
Marcus knows he's got a little time with Adam Lind running, but he comes in, charges this ball aggressively, makes a good solid throw across, and here comes Robin. He's going to the pen, and that's going to be it. So Donnie Veal does the job that he was brought in to do. He got the left-hander. And so Veal will depart. We'll step out and be back after these messages.
Mental deck at US Cellular Field because you can run the bases. You can interact with White Sox trainers. Test your swing at the batting cages. All that. At Comcast Fundamentals, so catch all the action with Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY to learn more.
The Honda call to the pen is Nate Jones, who's 4-5. His ERA after that 5 spot he gave up in Detroit has swollen to 4.28 on for the 68th time. He inherits runners at second and third, and he's looking at Brett Lowry.
Lowry is lined hard to short, going out softly to center, and popped up to second. Takes that slider upstairs.
Well, Nate's got 8 wild pitches, and sometimes you start thinking like you can't throw your best slider because you know it's going to wind up in the dirt with a tying run 90 feet away.
Count evens. Where pitchers got to have, especially relievers, short memories. Softly hit, nice pitch, ate him up. And he gets out of it. They do get the 1. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading 3-2.
53rd time. He's a man of much hardware in his elbow. They reconstructed it with a lot of screws and metal devices to get him back in the big leagues, and here he is putting together a pretty decent year. Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it came in the second inning. First home run in the career of Marcus Semien. It was a 2-run blast. Went on to add another hit, so he's 2 for 3 as he strides to the plate. Get a little insurance for his ball club and for Jose Quintana, who doesn't need another no decision. Mark DeRosa moves over to second base, and Adam Lind stays in the game at first.
Delabar, also with the Padres, Mariners. And as Steve mentioned, a lot of hardware in that elbow. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. Whew. Never seen anything like that.
No, sets off a lot of alarm bells at the airports.
I guess. There's a strike. And a count 0-2. You got to really want it to go through all that. .95-mile-an-hour fastball popped up.
Wednesday, tune in to CSN as the White Sox look to stop the late season surge of their rival Tribe in Cleveland. Coverage begins at 5:30 with Chicago Tribune Live, so don't miss White Sox Indians Wednesday night at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Here's Josh. Josh 0 for 3. Yeah, these are the feel-good stories right here with Steve Delabar.
Going through what he went through, spending as much time kicking around various organizations and resurrecting his career.
And then he's back right underneath us.
And Addison Reed will come on to try to nail it down. He'd like to have a 2-run lead, but right now the lead stands at 1.
I guess Delabar, interesting case study. A couple of ways. Says he's moved 30 times in the last 10 years. And then after surfing some personal setbacks in his life, which you can understand, wanted to swim across the Missouri River. Couldn't make it all the way across and began to sink. And then teammate Grant Balfour was on a trip with him and had to pull him out of the water.
Those Australians, they're good lifeguards.
2-2 pitch. 2 down.
That was what they term a biting slider. That was biting about 4 feet outside. Nice stop by Aaron Sebia.
So here's Diaza. Says here that he is the first Major League Baseball pitcher to record 4 strikeouts in an extra inning.
I know there's a lot that have fanned 4 guys. I didn't know that it was that unusual to do it in extra inning.
Yeah, did it last year against us.
We just keep making
we
history,
just keep
even when
records,
we don't.
man.
Even when we don't even know we make history.
It's like that commercial with all the money. We're just sitting on top of records.
It's true. Well, we also had to set the record for amount of legs in the ballpark on Dog Day. We had 3,800 canine legs.
That ball hit hard. Get up in there. No, it's not going to do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Delabar. And we're into the ninth. We lead it by 1. New home run derby mobile game from MLB.com. Features include all 24 home run derby competitors from 2010, 11, and 12. An arcade mode that brings high-impact thrills as you compete for the highest scores, and a derby mode that recreates the authentic home run derby tournament. So available on the iPhone and iPad. Download MLB.com's home run derby and do that for free. Do it today.
Addison Reed comes on, looking for save number 39. On for the 66th time.
Slider misses. Moises Sierra struck out twice and lined hard to short. Outfield, for the most part, straight up. So the count goes to 2-0. Addison has some control problems on Saturday, but you got to have that short memory. It's been tough on him because of the fact he hadn't been in and out, sit out for a week, no activity with the adrenaline, so to speak, you know, for maybe a week and a half.
Yeah. When we had that long dry spell, he didn't have any opportunities.
No. Come back and get him, Addison. 3-0 the count. Make him swing the bat.
This guy's got some big power, so you just as soon keep it away from him.
And there's a leadoff walk.
I will see if they're going to pinch run for him. And apparently not.
So here's DeRosa, a walk, fly out to center, and a ground out to short.
Sierra 1 for 1 in stolen bases this year.
Just a decent lead. And the count evens. Breaking ball misses. Last 2 times out. He's having trouble getting that breaking ball over.
He hasn't gotten the slider near it, really.
No. And the count 3-1. How many, Steve? How many of our young pitchers you think are running on fumes?
Well, I know that Addison is. And a couple of starters, perhaps. Addison's velocity, which at times got to 95, 96, occasionally when he really reached back and got a little something extra. Lately, it's been 91, 92.
So a full count. There he goes. And that's short into center field. Coming on, yes. Didn't know if he was going to get there. 1 out.
Sierra got a big jump. Picked up the contact and had to go back. So this slider he got in the neighborhood. A good pitch on 3-2. Had the confidence to throw it. And Sierra has to look for contact. He saw it as Alejandro came on and got it.
So here's the power guy, Arancibia. JP just missed a home run. His first at bat. High pop up into left center field. Then he homered leading off the 5th. Then struck out in the 7th.
He's only grounded into 8 double plays this year, but he has fanned 145 times.
That pitch inside. First time he's ever faced Addison. Gets that slider over. Took a little something off. Big pitch right here, the 1-1. And it goes Vanager and Sebia. Off the end of the bat. Pauly, a nice pick. Can he turn it? No throw. 2 down.
There was a big break because that was ball 3. It was well out of the zone. Arancibia tapped it off the end of the bat. Paul made a very good play. Moving to his right, he backhands it. Good solid throw, but no return. So 1 out away from nailing it down for Quintana and Reed.
Here's Pilar. He's grounded to third, struck out, and then doubled and scored. That was last inning. Oh yeah, nice breaking pitch. And when this ball comes down, this ball game will be over. So Addison comes on, nails it down for Jose Quintana. Picks up save number 39, and indeed he did have the short memory coming off Saturday. And Stevie, good ball game. So our youngsters get in there and do something. The 2-run home by Simeon, the solo shot by Garcia. Another terrific job by Jose Quintana.
Quintana's been doing it all year, and Addison Reed came back, got himself in trouble, made the big pitches when he had to make them, and coming home in the middle of a road trip, turns into gold as the Sox win one, and it's on the way to Cleveland.
And let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is our 24-year-old southpaw. Jose Quintana runs his record 9-6, but it's been a lot better year than that for him. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., for the mayor Mean Joe Brew, for Mike Gentile, Jeff Hilbert, Dennis Wood, Frank D'Amato. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, the Orland Park Nissan postgame show with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.